The world of gold and silver is changing. I can feel it in my bones. It sounds like the start of a Lord of the Rings trilogy, doesn't it? But it's true, the world of gold and silver is changing, and it always has been changing. It ever changes from left, right, up, down. Who knows where the gold and silver price will end up? But I don't just mean the gold and silver price. There is a whole host of different constituent parts that make up the world of gold and silver, from 3D printed dragons from the likes of Pressburg Mint, or proof coins from our favourite national mints like the US Mint or the Royal Mint, even our own poured silver, bullion sovereigns and bullion silver. They are changing all the time. And today I want to share some of my insights into these different constituent parts and how we as stackers can learn from those parts about what might be best for us to look to target as our own stack grows and develops. Hello everybody, Backyard Bullion here, and a very warm welcome to you all joining me for another Precious Metal Ramble, where we are going to talk today about the ever-evolving and changing precious metals markets. And I don't just mean the gold and silver price, because let's be quite frank, they go up or they go down. They could go left and right for all I know as well. It's not a particularly interesting subject, but within the world of gold and silver, there are a whole host of different constituent parts, from premium pieces of like proof coinage at the really high end of the spectrum, beautiful premium items like this 3D printed silver dragon. My own poured silver, for example, is at a premium. So what's going on with the different constituent parts of the market, all the way down to bullion? What's popular, what's hot, what's not right now? Bullion seems to be the thing that people want more than anything. And I think there's a few underlying reasons for that we're going to touch on in this video today. But that's not to say that the markets for premium stuff like the 3D printed dragon or even my own poured silver doesn't exist and isn't still there. But it does give us, I think, a good indication of what right now people really want. What's the biggest part of the constituent markets that we can see? And that might help us inform our strategies as stackers, as collectors. I kind of want to avoid the phrase of saying investors, because there's been recently some interesting bits of news out there of various different less than perfectly ethical companies who basically have been blabbering on about how great silver and gold are as an investment, with charts saying things are going to go up and continue to rise, and they've been told off by advertising standard agencies. So I think it's really interesting to talk about the different constituent parts of this industry and how things are evolving and where things might go. So let me know your thoughts on this subject down in the comment section below, and also let me know what's your favourite thing here on the table. Is it the 3D printed dragon? Oh, it's so good. Is it an ounce of platinum? Is it my little jar of 1 gram silver barter tokens, or is it the humble and beautiful sovereign? I would go so far as to say that the humble, beautiful sovereign is probably the most popular thing right now out there on the market. That said, some of my insights from the world of buying and selling and acting as intermediaries, for example. Sovereigns don't come up for sale very often through the Buyers Club because they are super liquid. But even at the super liquidity level of the sovereign, if they're not priced right, they don't sell. And what do I mean by priced right? There's a lot of people out there who might not particularly know what the right price to pay for the sovereign might be right now. Now I'm going to strategically hold up these sovereigns with the Silver Forum branding in the background, because I did spy a little listing the other day for, I think it was a pair of sovereigns, or it might have been one singular sovereign. I can't remember exactly. But I remember the context of the post was that they had put it up and it was basically spot plus post, I think it was, and it didn't sell. Or it didn't sell very quickly. I think somebody would have probably snapped it up eventually. But part of the problem was that gold prices are, or were, very high at that moment. So at that particular time, I'm going to put these down before I drop them. At that particular time, gold was like 2160 still. And that's high. It was like 520 for a gold sovereign. And there are a lot of people out there, myself included, who are used to buying sovereigns for a lot cheaper than that. And in fact, at one point I was buying sovereigns. In fact, one of the very first gold coins I ever bought was a sovereign off eBay for £190. Can you imagine? You can basically buy a half sovereign for 250 now. So that puts it in perspective. But it didn't sell. And part of the problem there was the price, but also part of the problem, I think, was the fact it was a brand new newbie seller, no sort of experience or no feedback on the selling front. So not that popular. But that person kind of moaned a little bit about it, saying, why didn't it sell? Well, there are bigger factors at play here. I think, for example, we cannot ignore the fact that right now the gold price is high, and it means that, unfortunately, people are priced out of buying gold. Fractional gold is certainly on the cards for a lot of people, and whilst the sovereign now being priced at £500 for a sovereign coin is a lot, people are looking to some of the smaller denominations, half sovereigns, 10th ounce golds, for example. Now, I wouldn't recommend you go and buy my 10th ounce gold if you're looking for the best value gold, and that's, I'm going to be completely open and honest here. I've got a couple of these left for sale. They are premium. They're premium for a reason, because they take a lot of time, energy, and effort to make. They are limited in their numbers, and I've had to spend a lot of money hallmarking them. So those are what they are. They're not pieces of bullion, and they're not pieces of investment gold. A sovereign, arguably, and I've used that word, I didn't really want to use that word today, but sovereign is arguably the best investment gold product that you could look to buy right now. So they are popular still, even though it's difficult to maybe sell some of the gold at the moment with the all-time highs. It's obvious people still want them. They do shift, they shift quickly, and they are just super popular, and I think they're going to remain popular for the long haul. So what about silver? So we'll come on to premium bits of silver in a moment, like the dragon and the pieces of poured silver. But for example, bullion. So how are the markets for bullion silver? Well, there's been one huge shift that I've really clocked onto and noticed in this last year, and it's sort of been in the build-up to the sort of general election, then Labour government coming in and changing the rules for capital gains taxes. And that's a shift to this kind of bullion. So with a shameless plug for Atkinsons, who are the best dealer in the UK, in my opinion. Capital gains exempt bullion. So Queen's Head, it doesn't have to be Queen's Head, but you know what I mean. Coinage from the UK realms. None of this crap and tat from third-party mints from Gibraltar or Tristan da Cunha, but actual sovereigns, actual Britannias, proper capital gains exempt stuff. Tubes of Britannias, super popular. They will be liquidated very quickly. We had 400 of them. You wouldn't have seen them on my website through the Buyers Club, because they all sold within minutes of me getting them. That's a lovely shot, isn't it, with the beautiful afternoon sunshine rolling through. If we move that out the way, it's even better. There we go. So the point here is that capital gains tax stuff is really, really popular right now. And that, I think, is playing into a lot of people's purchasing decisions, and also then their follow-up selling decisions. I think people right now are trying to shift out of some of the non-capital gain stuff that they've got, and they're finding it hard. So, for example, I've just got one of these little Christmas bars here. I mean, a Christmas bar is one of the worst things that you could probably buy if you're looking to have something to move on and sell, if it even focuses on it. Go on, camera. You can do it. Is it going to focus? Sort of. There we go. Right. It's probably because of the sunlight glaring on. But a Christmas-themed bar, I mean, it's a nice gold bar, but nobody really wants it. It's raw mint, but it's not capital gains exempt. So we need to remind you of that. It's only coinage that's exempt, and people just don't want bars of gold anymore. So when you see big old chunky bars like Plamp 1 ounce bars and the like, they can be easily faked in those assay cards, by the way, and you really do have to know a lot to make sure that those are not going to be fake when you get them in. So just be really careful, and people are worried about that kind of stuff. So coinage from dealers, from trusted sources, that's the mantra, and people want the capital gain stuff. They really do. They want to have that exemption. Why wouldn't you? I mean, if you're going to have a serious amount of cash in a piece of gold and silver, you want to make sure that it's right at the other end. What about the big market for the 1 ounce gold sizes? Well, that's a staggeringly tough market right now still. I sold over the last month or so, I think it was about 12 or 13. No, we had a full set of 10, and then there were about 5 or 6 extras. So it was probably about 16, I think, 1 ounce gold Queen's Beasts. And surprisingly, I still managed to get good prices for them. We got anywhere from sort of 3.5% to 5.5% over spot for them, which, when you remember some of the premiums that some of the dealers are asking on things like the Griffin and the Lion, that is pretty good going, I think, because the dealers, they're asking at the time they were asking like 2,500 for them, which is completely unrealistic. But they've got the bankroll and the experience and unfortunately the network to wait for somebody who doesn't know better to come along. And that's not necessarily casting shade at any particular dealers. That's just the way the market is. And that's not how I've ever wanted to be as a dealer or as an intermediary seller. We just get things in, we get them out, it's done. People are happy on both ends of the trade. That's the general idea. But the big 1 ounce stuff isn't really popular. If I put a 1 ounce gold coin up for sale on the likes of, say, the Silver Forum and put it at spot price, and then I put 4 sovereigns at spot price, I can guarantee you straight away that those sovereigns will sell within seconds and that gold coin will stick around for a couple of hours. That's how it is. It might still sell, but do you really want to be putting away a premium gold coin on the Silver Forum for a spot price? No. I mean, I remember the days when you would be lucky spending 5% over spot on a 1 ounce gold coin from the forum or from second-hand markets like Facebook. So yeah, difficult markets for those things. Now, if we're going to come into difficult markets, I think we do need to address the elephant in the room, or the big giant 3D printed snake in the room. Premium stuff right now is hard to really justify for a lot of people, and I think that's an interesting place within the market right now. We got to look at cost of living crises. We've got to look at how inflation has treated people. Wages haven't kept up with inflation. There's also a lot of product out there at the moment. I can speak for that because I have a backlog of incredibly super cool things that companies have sent to me that I will be showcasing over the coming weeks and months, and I'm really looking forward to doing that. And I'm very, very fortunate to be in a position where those companies will send me things. But it's a tough world and a tough market right now. And you've only got to look at sort of the proof coin market to really understand that generally, unless it's going to be a secure fire hit, people are just not bothering buying stuff, or they'll just buy it from the second-hand markets. There's a lot of coin auctions going on at the moment, and there's a lot of premium products out there that you can get for a lot cheaper than you can from issue prices. And people are catching on to that, not wanting to go and spend stuff on those items. However, what I do want to follow that up by saying is that when certain things come out that are really, really good, like for example this dragon, I think these are the kind of things that people will buy and they'll hold and they'll not sell on the second-hand markets. Now, there is an element of fear of missing out and FOMO on that, and I don't want to sort of oversell and clock this dragon and say that you have to go and buy it. I'm not being sponsored by Pressburg to make this video. They did sponsor me for one video the other day. This is just a really cool piece that I'm going to share with you guys because they gifted it to me, and I love it, and I think it's great. If I hadn't have been gifted it, I would have bought it, but then I have the luxury of being able to do that, and I don't take that for granted. Also, I have the luxury of knowing that anything that I do kind of buy for me and my kind of extended stack, whether it be a proof coin or 3D printed dragon, that I've got a better avenue of exiting from these kind of things than other people. So that's, I think, a really important decision for a lot of people to make. And it does follow through. I see requests coming through quite often for my Buyers Club, which is where I kind of want to finish this video by talking about the Buyers Club. It's been a lot quieter of a year than last year, which is in many ways exactly what I wanted it to be. This time last year, I remember burning out from it almost. I mean, I almost burnt out in that I was like just chopping wood one day, and I just thought, I want to be chopping wood. I just want to sit here and chop wood for the next 3 months and make videos about that maybe, because I'm fed up of doing so much. So it's good that it's been a quieter year on that front, but it's been a quieter year for a number of reasons. And the first is that I think a lot of people are expecting things to go higher and want it to go higher, and they're not looking to maybe liquidate where they are. But some of the premium stuff that people have maybe bought over the years, they know that the market's really in a big slump for it right now. And that's, I think, really interesting. So yeah, very, very interesting times. And I want to bring it sort of full circle around to my stuff. So the poured silver, we've got 6 of these 3-ounce rounds left for sale. I want to say they are premium items. I put a lot of hard effort, work, and blood, sweat, and tears into these. Sometimes literally blood, sweat, and tears. Don't worry, they're fully sanitized before they go out. But they take a lot of energy and effort, and I'm very proud of the work that I do. But I do charge a premium for them, and I'm not shying away from that premium. But each year we've sold all of them, and these 6 will go in their own time. I'm not sitting here telling you have to buy them. I'm not sitting here crying at the market going, it's such a bad market, nobody will buy my silver. Because that's patently incorrect. We've sold, I think it's like 50 kilos of our poured silver this year. I'd have to have a quick look at my records to really kind of get to grips with it all. But that's an incredible achievement for any small business to do in this current market. And that's in great deal part to all of you people in there in the camera that watch and support our channel and do everything else that you do to help everything be what it is for me, which is incredible. And I don't take that for granted at all. And in fact, when you're looking at just all of the different range of things that we've got, people want them and they buy them, and that's really great. So if you do have something that is of interest to people, then this market still exists, but it's a hard one to get through, and it's a hard one to really break into. I've seen a lot of big mints around the world. This is the sort of last little commentary I'm going to do on sort of the world of proof coins and the like. There's a lot of private mints out there that I would say are basically throwing look, what are we in? 14th minute of the video, I can swear, excuse my French, they're throwing shit at the wall and hoping something sticks. And my prime example of that is the Royal Mint with the Silver Sovereign that was released yesterday. I mean, it is literally just a selling down the river of the Royal Mint's branding to get as much money in as they can. How they think £130 is justifiable for an 8-gram silver sovereign is absolutely beyond me. I was going to do a video about it, but also at the same time, I really don't want to give them any airtime. So I'm just going to moan about them here on the 14th minute of the video and see if anyone actually picks up on it down in the comments. Yeah, so if you're in the comment section, don't use that phrase, throwing shit at the wall, because you will probably get auto-blocked by YouTube. But tell you what, because we always do something for the Cool Kids Club, if you are in the Cool Kids Club and you want to tell me that you're in the Cool Kids Club, then you must use the phrase, Royal Mint Silver Sovereign, hell no. That's what I'm going to say. And if you say that, then will be happy days that you're in the Cool Kids Club. But that's my thoughts on that. Anyway, the point here is that the markets are ever changing. We'll finish this with a conclusion that whilst bullion is super popular right now, prices are high for it. When prices start to get so high that people maybe can't afford to get these things and they want to have different levels of bits within their stack, they do look to some of the nicer bits out there. And I know I certainly have, and that's how I evolved in my stacking strategy, to build a proof coin collection over the years that I've been stacking, to have interesting pieces within my stack that are more than this. Now, these are higher risk. You have to think about how maybe one day you're going to sell this and where you're going to sell it and how much you're going to get for it. And the same is said for bits of poured silver or bits of fractional silver that I've made, or the gold, or even just any product out there at the moment, it seems, whether it's a coin or not. So there's a lot that can and will change over time. I have no doubt of that. And I think it's really interesting to keep a sort of beat on the pulse of this market. Be very interesting to see how things go in January, February, when I'm at the World Money Fair, asking all the different producers and mints how their year has been. Last year was an interesting one, with a couple telling some really hard truths about how it has been a really hard year, and others in blissful ignorance about how their years have been perfect and amazing and brilliant and not had any problems at all. Lying from certain national mints. But anyway, that is what it is. Thank you very much all for watching. If you're in the Cool Kids Club, you know what to do. Thank you to anyone watching to the 17th minute of the video. If you are, then you need to have a good long hard think about your life choices if you're not subscribed to the channel, because you know what you have to do. You have to subscribe. If you want to support the channel further than just watching, liking, sharing, commenting and subscribing, then we have got, as I said, limited numbers of our bits of poured silver up for sale. It's just those 6 left. We've got a couple of the 10-gram packs, and I think all of the 1-grammers are sold. That's the last one that's going to go out. And we've got a couple of the 10th ounce golds and 1-gram golds, but that's it. And once they're gone, they're gone. And I'm going to put my feet up and have a nice, relaxing Christmas. Anyway, that's it from me. Don't miss some of the videos this weekend on an incredible array of coinage that's been sent in to share. It is an incredible, incredible weekend ahead. So we'll see you then. Thanks all for watching. As always, please make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe for more.